Hey everyone, welcome to NoDQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. I am the owner of NoDQ Aaron Rift, here to answer your questions about the world of wrestling. So let's get right down to it. Hey Aaron, love the show. By the way, it's A-A-R-O-N, not A-R-R-O-N. But where did that spelling come from anyways? I have no idea. How come no one talks about the Shawn Michaels-Kurt Angle match at WrestleMania 21? I thought it was a great match featuring two of the greatest superstars and it was one of Michaels' best matches. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this match before. I've done 61 no DQ&A videos, over 200 of the text no DQ&As. I've said it before. First of all, I was at WrestleMania 21 live, and it was the best live match I've ever seen, no doubt about it, and one of the best matches on tape for that matter. In my opinion, that is the prototype of what a great wrestling match should be. You have two awesome characters. You had good build up for it. The match itself was as close to flawless as one could ask for. And, the two of them had the crowd in the palms of their hands. I mean, when they were trading those submissions back and forth, nobody had any idea who was going to win. And the crowd was on their feet the entire time for it. It went some like 25, 30 minutes. Just, it was one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time. And, not much more to say about it. Just, yeah. I think a lot of people talk about it because it was one of the best matches. So, there you go. Hey Aaron, do you think this year's WrestleMania main event was the worst WrestleMania main event? Well, I'm guess you're talking about Miz versus John Cena, and yeah, it was among the weaker main events. Some of the other bad ones I can recall. First of all, I think probably the single worst match to close WrestleMania would be Undertaker versus Sid at WrestleMania 13, and Yokozuna versus Bret Hart from WrestleMania 9 was not that good, and Chris Jericho versus Triple H at WrestleMania 18 was a good match, but it had to follow Hogan versus Rock, and it was just a really big letdown. And same thing with Triple H versus Randy Orton from 25. Had to follow Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, and technically it wasn't a bad match, but it was just big disappointment. But technically the worst match, yeah, Sid versus Undertaker. All right, let's see what else we have here. Do you think we'll ever see Shaq versus Big Show to WrestleMania now that Shaq is retired from the NBA? I definitely think it's a possibility. I know that there was the rumor going around a year or two ago that Shaq might do something. As everybody knows, Shaq is a huge WWE fan, so if any celebrity is going to do a match with Big Show, Shaq would be the one. The problem is, Big Show already had that match with Mayweather, and that there's not really a way you can top that. So even if Shaq got in there, would the people really buy into it as much as they did with Mayweather? Although, I mean, Big Show couldn't even beat Mayweather, and he was much bigger. Shaq is Big Show's size, so. But it would be a great match. Maybe even them in a tag team match would be cool. But who knows? If anybody's going to do it, it'll be Shaq. Hey, Aaron, do you think it's a good idea to split beer money up even though they're the most popular tag team going? I think it's a bad idea and have a separate feud with two other wrestlers leading to a tag match for the TNA title. Your thoughts? I don't think it's a bad idea at all. The two of them have been a tag team for the past 3-4 years now, and it was just time. If the two of them are going to get to the next level and become main eventers, they needed to split the tag team up. So that's just the way it was. I think it was the right move and the right timing, and I think it's being extremely rushed, but at least they're doing it and pulling the trigger and giving these guys a chance. And this goes on to my next question. What do you think about Robert Roode turning heel and winning the TNA title on Impact this week? I mean, it's the right move. I mean, I definitely would have done it this way with Storm and Roode breaking up, and quite frankly, I think Roode is better off as a heel in the feud against Storm, just because Storm is really popular with the redneck audience. I just think it was extremely rushed. I think they're blowing through. They could have had this storyline go on for 4 or 5 months, and they're going through it really fast. I guess James Storm is going to be out of action for several weeks with a storyline injury, and so I mean they're gonna have a little bit of time pass before they actually have the big match. But if it was me, I would have done it a little bit differently. I would have first of all, I would have had Roode win the title, and then maybe eventually had Storm beat him, and then have Roode try to win it back and fail. Kind of like with Christian and all that. They could have done it similar to that, and I think it would have been a lot more effective. Just my opinion. Hey Aaron, do you think the WWE should show more of FCW rather than NXT. I think FCW has better matches than NXT. NXT sucks and nobody cares about it. The crowds are dead, not interested. And do you think it's possible that FCW could be on a WWE network in 2012? Well, my big problem with not just NXT but FCW showing it on TV is that it really exposes the business, and it exposes just how green and unexperienced some of these guys really are. I don't really think that's a good idea. I think it's better to keep these guys away from the public eye until they're ready to be on television. That's just my opinion right there. I'm fine with like Tough Enough, where it's it's clear these guys are training and they're doing more than just wrestling, and they're doing the stuff in the house and running around doing various tasks. But as far as showing guys training to wrestle and performing in front of 100 people in like a little room or whatever, I think that's better left being private than putting it out there for everyone to see. Do you think you have what it takes to write for WWE? No, because if I had the pressure, if I was under pressure working for them and trying to answer to everybody and just trying to, you got to give those guys credit because they have to deal with Vince McMahon. They have to deal with, the hectic situation of writing a show every week and having to have things changed on you and this and that. It's a really tough job, and I would probably blow my brains out if I was working for them. Hey Aaron, if Kurt Angle was to return to WWE for one last run, would you see him as a world champion again, and who would you like to see him feud with? I could definitely see him having a world title one more time if he was gonna commit to a longer schedule, which that's the whole big debate right there, is would he be able to work that schedule or not? And at this point in time, I don't think it's gonna happen. If he ever does come back to WWE, I think it'll be on a part-time basis, and therefore it's less likely that he would have the world title. As far as who I'd like to see him feud with, Randy Orton. That would be a tremendous feud right there, and maybe have him go in there with Cena again. Maybe have him challenge the streak if Undertaker is still wrestling. There's a lot of things you can do with Kurt Angle. Put him in there with some of the newer guys like Dolph Ziggler or just Zack Ryder, any of them. Hey Aaron, a morbid question here from Blackpool, England. How do you think the WWE would cope with the death of a lower mid-card wrestler or jobber? In the past, the wrestlers who have died have been main eventers. Would the WWE handle it the same? Surely. Well, I think it depends. First of all, if the guy's an active performer in WWE and his death was like a freak accident, like if he died in a car accident or something, I could see WWE doing a video tribute, maybe even a 10-bell salute, depending on the situation. If the guy died, from a drug overdose or something, they might have a graphic for him, but they're not going to go out of their way to mention him. It just depends on the situation, really. All right, that about does it for NoDQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. You can check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/NoDQCW. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the show, good or bad. If it's bad, make sure it's constructive feedback or you're getting blocked. And you could stay tuned to NoDQ.com. I'm doing the text NoDQ&As now in addition to the video. And on that note, we'll see you next time.